Hi guys, it's been another really hot week. Wednesday, Thursday in particular, I think we got up to 34 again. And I think this week, probably I saw the most amount of stress on the plants, but in particular in my little shrub section, which is down the bottom. A lot of them are young shrubs. They're probably only 2, 3 years old. Some were actually planted out this spring, and we have been trying to water them. But because I had to take my last section of hosepipe over to my second field to pump the water across, I can only reach them with watering cans. So I've been giving them like a good thorough watering at least once a week. Some of them I've been trying to do twice a week. But particularly on Thursday we went and had a look at them. Yeah, I think we've lost a couple of the twisted willows, so that's a real shame. Some of them look like they might bounce back, but yeah. Hopefully we can take some more cuttings. I know I got them off of a friend, the cuttings, so hopefully I'll be able to get some more cuttings and we can maybe start again. So we'll see. But it is a lot of hot weather, and I've seen a lot of videos, and I think everyone is stressed, and I think everyone is just exhausted from this heat. And I'm just aware that there's been a lot of negative because of the heat wave. So I really wanted to just try and show the good points of the field as well. I'm really glad that 2, 3 weeks ago I made the decision to cut my losses on any of the annuals that I knew were going to be tough to keep going in this heat wave, and to anything that was just remotely struggling. And I really scaled back what we have growing this season, and I'm probably at least a third to a half less than I normally would have. And just to put that into perspective for you, I look back at my books, and this weekend last year I had a wedding, 2 markets and 3 shops, and in all, between the Friday and the Saturday, or the Thursday night and the Friday night, I cut 26 buckets of flowers. I've just done a back-to-back market, Friday and the Saturday, and I've probably only cut about 6 to 8 bucketfuls. Yeah, I mean, there was more flowers in the field and I probably could have got a bit more out of it. I haven't stripped the field. I've been trying not to stress the plants out, but there's no way I would have got 26 buckets out of it. No way. So I think that kind of just shows you the scale of what we're dealing with. But we are hanging in. We are surviving. We do still have flowers. It's a lot of 4 a.m. starts, but we're hanging in. So that's the main thing. So positive thoughts. So I'm just going to whiz around and show you what is still surviving, and what we've still got going, and just show you, yeah, what's going on now. The rudbeckias are still hanging in. The first section, so I planted these in 2 waves. The first section, there's a big section here in the middle, which I've cut a lot of, and then the last few have kind of just fallen over a bit. But there's still some coming up, some fresh ones, and there's still a nice big clump here. But the second section is just coming into its own now. What I am finding is they're all coming up quite like at once, and I'm struggling to utilise the full amount of them. But we've still got some lovely flowers, and yeah, I need to give them a good deadheading, and they should still produce a few more yet. The strawflowers are just beginning to put up their second flush. So just to show you, you can kind of see this is where I've been cutting them, and now they're just beginning to put up their second flush. So we've still got a nice amount on these. They're still going strong, and now we're just getting that second flush. So these guys should keep us good for the next few weeks. And some of the chrysanthemums are just starting to flower. Now I know chrysanthemums aren't the most popular flower, but these guys have really saved my bacon in the last week. They're nice and bushy. They take up a bit of space in the bouquets, and even in this heat, they're surviving pretty well. And I'm still only having to water them every other day. So yeah, these guys have been troopers the last week or 2. And check this out, guys. I'm not sure that they're going to be tall enough to use, but you can see that the lupins are actually trying to put on a few extra flowers. So I'm definitely going to try and keep them good, because if nothing else, they're just going to really help out the bees and stuff while they're still looking for food. And we're just beginning to get the heleniums. I've been cutting the yellow ones the last week. These have really opened up in the last day or 2. Yeah, you don't get a lot of stems off them. So I have this year planted a lot of extra plants. So hopefully, yeah, going forward, we'll be getting a lot more of these. beginning to get some of the billy buttons, as I call them. And these are the ones that have survived, are doing great. I'm putting up quite a few stems, so that's great. I've been cutting these mainly for drying at the moment, but if I get to the point where I need them for fresh flowers, just as like a little pop, I will use them for that as well. These guys are just looking fab, but they're almost too big for the type of bouquets that I do. So I'm actually going to try and cut these and dry them. I have read that you can dry them, and I think these would be really striking if they dry well, to have something like this and, you know, just 3 stems in a nice big vase. I think that would look really cool. And then this is my Comfrey, which is just beginning to get to the point that I can start cutting it and using it. So these are cool because they kind of just add like a little pop, just something you can add in, just a few extra stems. So yeah, and these guys seem to be really drought tolerant. I've only been watering these every other day as well, so they're doing really good. And the dahlias are really beginning to come out now. The only thing I'm finding with the dahlias is that I would say they're not lasting in the vase maybe quite as long as they normally would, maybe a day or 2 less. So I'm not putting quite so many in the bunches. I'm trying to use them alongside the chrysanthemums, because the chrysanthemums are lasting a bit better than the dahlias. And these guys, I think I showed them back a couple of months ago. The plants themselves weren't looking very great, but I just kind of let them be, and yeah, they've produced some really lovely sea heads, which is what I wanted them for. So I'm going to get these cut tonight actually and start drying these. So I'm really chuffed with that. These are literally just for reef making. They're quite short stem, but that's fine for reef making. So hopefully they're going to dry nice. And I've never had these before, so yeah, that'll be really cool. These phloxes have been doing really well. I normally struggle to grow phloxes, to be honest. I think maybe having heavy clay soil here, it's normally just too wet. But this year, these guys have been doing really well. And again, I've only been watering them every other day. These are a bit flattened here, but I've been picking these, and yeah, they've really been bailing me out the last couple of weeks, and they've been really good. So I was thinking of not bothering with these next year. Because I want to change up what I'm doing. But if they do as well as they've done this year, then they've kind of earned a space. So that's going to be a little bit of thought having to go into that. Maybe I do a smaller patch just in case. I've kind of let the nigella go. Well, they kind of came up and stopped flowering all at once, kind of like up and poof, done. But I've left the seed pods here. I'm going to cut some for drying, but I'm just going to use these guys, excuse the weeds, just going to use these guys for like some greenery and texture, because that's one thing that I have lost is probably the greenery bits. So yeah, there's nowhere near as much as normal, but the bits we have got are doing okay and they're holding in. And I think it's more important to have less variety, but be able to keep serving the shops and everything than worry about the variety in the bouquets. I've been really lucky at the market yesterday and today. I did try the Friday one a second time, and I did smaller bunches, and they did much better than the big bunches. But both days at the market, when I was chatting to people, and I said, you know, I was quite honest and said the flowers themselves aren't lasting. Normally that I would say that they'd last a good 7 if not 10 days, but I'd probably say at the moment you're getting a good 5 days out of them. 7 if you can keep them really cool and really strict on changing the water and cutting the stems. But everyone seemed to be really understanding of that, especially my regular customers. And they were like, yeah, you know, it's the heat, we get it, they're still really lovely, we still want them. So that's really encouraging when, you know, people understand that and they're still supporting you, and that's great. So this section down here, I planted some shrubs and I hope to use them for greenery. So we've got 2 dogwoods here, 2 here, 2 back behind this tree, and 2 more small ones over here. So 8 dogwoods. This one was given to me as a birthday present. And this one. These are looking okay. You can see there's kind of like a little bit of a crispy leaf, but in general they are okay. This is a beautyberry, which has been there now for 3 years, and it's just not putting on any size. Yeah, the shrubs don't really like it down here. The ground down this section isn't really good for anything. These 2 dogwoods here are black dogwoods, and you can really see here the leaves have just really crisped up, but we have given it a good amount of water in the last couple of days, and these have kind of unshriveled, so I'm hoping we've caught these just in time and that they will hopefully, you can see there is a bit of okay leaf down here, so hopefully we've managed to save these. This is a pussy willow, and you can see again all the leaves have just curled up and crisp, but again all of these were really like limp, but it's still alive at the moment, so we're just gonna give them a little bit each day for like maybe a week and try and like soften the ground around them, and then yeah, then try and get them back to maybe just like once or twice a week. And these over here, they have kind of bounced back. Again, it is still alive, but yeah, every day I come down there's more leaves on this one shriveled up, so this one's definitely really struggling. But these were my twisted willows, and I knew they were struggling, but within like 72 hours, I just hadn't come down and checked on them every single day, and within 72 hours they've just shriveled up and died basically. This one has got a leaf on it, but yeah, and this one does look like maybe we could get it to survive. So if I could get this one to survive, I could try and take some cuttings off it and redo the others. It just all went in like 48, 72 hours. Like if you look back on my videos on the last couple of weeks, you'll see that the grass, like yes, it was kind of like going a bit brown and dying off, but this has just happened in literally 2 or 3 days. It's just completely died off, just gone white. All the leaves are fallen. Yeah, those 2-3 days of heat just finished it all off. Right guys, I've just been over to the second field. I didn't have my camera with me, but these guys were all dug up again. And you can see, look, these were a solid 9 centimetre pot. when I planted them. I think it's valves, and I think they're eating the roots. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to rescue them. They aren't looking very good at all. So tonight I'm just going to sit them in a tiny bit of maybe a bit shallow water, and I'll see if they perk up tonight. And then if they do, I will try and plant them up. But this one's looking particularly bad. So yeah. So I left these soaking in, not fully submerged in water, but just a shallow bit of water overnight. And even the one that looked terrible, I mean, it's not fully recovered, but you can see like it is trying to recover and rehydrate. I might leave that one still in some water, but I think I'm going to go and pot the other ones out because they seem to have bounced back up a bit. So I think I'm going to pot up these other ones, but maybe leave that one still soaking for a little bit longer. So I've added a good amount of sand, and I've also added in a good few teaspoons of fish blood and bone. Because they've been soaking already all night, I don't want to necessarily drown them with even more water, but obviously the soil does need to be a bit damp. So I'm just going to dampen it before I put them in the pots. It is quite dry, the compost. I've tried putting it in the shade, but obviously in this heat. So it's been about 5 days, and yeah, I mean, they're still alive. Even this one, look, he's a little crispy, but he's still alive. So fingers crossed, I may have saved them, you never know.